Hey guys, so we just finished up going over all those seedless non-vascular plant questions and PowerPoints, and today is going to be kind of an easier activity. You are going to be looking at a PowerPoint again, but the good news is that this activity is not based on correctness. Instead, it's only based off of completion, and I'll be honest with you, it's really easy. Now, it's called Part 1 because there are a couple different parts to it, but we're not going to focus on those yet. First, we're going to do part 1. We'll do an entire unit based around some vascular plants that are a little bit larger, and then I'll have you do the second part, and hopefully you do better on the second part than you do the first part. At least that's the goal of it. So whenever you open this up, it is going to look just like this. And it says, four corners warm-ups types of plants. This would have been done, if we were completely in class and we could move around. I would have put up signs around the room in the four corners, and you guys would have looked at a picture and then went and stood by the sign. But since we can't do that due to the virus right now, you want to stay seated or you may be working from home, it's just not feasible for me to put signs around the room. So for the instructions, on a piece of paper or in a Google Doc, you're going to attempt to identify several plants, classifying them as either conifers, which are pines, mosses, ferns, or flowering angiosperms, or maybe it's not a plant at all. So you have 5 different choices. At the end, you're going to check yourself and see which ones you got correct. You will not be graded based off of how well you do, but rather just for completing it. So whenever you're going through and checking, you don't have to fix your answers. Instead, just be honest and tell me how many you got right and how many you got wrong. You'll get the same amount of points regardless if you miss every single one or if you get them all correct. Just as long as you did it and you can show me that you did, you'll get your points for the day. So what it looks like, you have a picture like this. You have a separate Google Doc and you will go through and you'll say, okay, well, this kind of looks like a conifer to me. It looks kind of like a pine tree. I see some needles on there. So I'm going to label this as a conifer. That would be number 1. Number 2, here's your next picture. So I see a rock here and it looks like, what is that, moss growing on it, I guess? There's some green stuff on there. So I'm going to label this as a moss. This is a flower. So I would label that as an angiosperm because angiosperms are flowering plants. Here's another one. It kind of looks like a bush maybe. So I would go with a conifer on this one again. And you may be thinking different things as you're looking at these. Here's a flower again. So you're getting the idea. You're just going to go through. You're going to label each one of these pictures as you go. Now at the end of this particular one, so it's going to hit down after slide 39, this is where you're going to start getting your answers. So you're going to have a total of 37 words written down, and then you're going to check it. So that first one that we saw was in fact a conifer, and you can see the picture in the background as well, and it tells you where it's from. I don't expect you to know that this is from the Pueblo West, Colorado, in Devil's Canyon, but it is kind of an interesting little tidbit of information. The next one it tells you is a moss, again from Devil's Canyon. So you'll go through, you'll check which ones you got right, which ones you got wrong, and you'll just tell me which ones you did get correct and which ones you did not. Again, you don't have to go through and actually redo your answers, just check them. Turn that in and submit it to me. If you got them all right, that's great. If not, whenever we finish up our unit and you go through and do this activity again, it'll be different pictures the next time. But when you do it again, you should do a little bit better on it than you did the first time. And there are some pictures in there that show you, it's not really a plant. So they're in there to confuse you. If I go back to my assignment here, you can either submit this as a text entry box, so there'll be a text box down below, or you can submit your Google Doc, or maybe you wrote this on a notebook, in a notebook, and you want to take a picture of that and submit it that way. Whatever way is easiest for you, you're more than welcome to submit to me. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a good day.